What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Self the Line Surgeon. And you already know what time it is. Tips to talk. Alright people, we're gonna get right into it, bro. Right into it. I just want to first off apologize for anybody who has a standard. Not only because you have a standard, I want to apologize because you actually spent your hard-earned money on a standard, bro, and I do not understand it. And like I said, this is not there it is right there. It's right out there. Bilt focus. The Gravely Pro Stance. This is nothing against the Pro Stance. I'm gonna actually do a review on the machine itself, which is actually, I will say it cuts better than the ProTurn. But with that being said, I am not a fan of a standard. I can tell you that right now. I even made a list. I have a top 5 things. And see, the thing is, I don't want y'all to think that, hey, Seth is like just a pro. Seth is just a standard hater. I'm not a standard hater. The whole reason I got a standard to demo is because I've been using zero turns my whole business career. I said, you know what? In the beginning of my career, I wanted a standard. I thought they were cool. So I said, let me get a standard as a demo. And maybe there's some things about it that I will get the standard and I'll be like, you know what? I was totally wrong. Standards are freaking awesome. You know, and that's what I thought. But it actually made me realize that I'm not a perfect fit for standards. I'm totally, and when I say this, I'm not saying, like I said, it's nothing against Gravely. It's nothing against any other company that sells standards. It's just that me and my body makeup are not built for standards, bro. I'm tall, I'm fat. I'm not a standard guy. So, and my properties, they don't mix well with standards. You know what I mean? So, I'm gonna start you with, if I can remember, because I have a list of the new things that I found wrong with standards in general. But I'm gonna go over the things that originally I didn't like about standards before I started using the standard. Then I'm gonna talk about the things that I found that I don't like with standards, using standards. And then I will talk about a couple of things that I do like about the standard. And then in another video I'll do a whole review talking about everything that I like or dislike about the standard. Alright, so the first thing going into standards, like I said, I don't like standard. I said I probably wouldn't like standing up all the time. I said that balancing, that is a big thing. I'm gonna break that down right now. My thing is about the balancing. It's not even so much about, well, I mean, I guess falling off of it is an important thing, but like when you're on a standard, I guess for people who drive standards, if you hit a bump and you lean to the left, you know, that right controller is going to come back. And if that right controller comes back, it affects your line. And my thing is, I'm all about straight lines. Y'all see from my Instagram and my videos, I love making that straight line. You know, I think when people drive by and they see those lines, they're like, man, with a standard, I don't understand how people keep straight lines, especially if the lawn is bumpy. And that kind of goes back on what I said. Only pretty boys use standards, and that's not to say that y'all are pretty boys, don't like to get dirty. It's just that y'all are pretty boys because the only way you can use a standard is on a nice, smooth property. Not all properties are gonna be nice and smooth. You know what I mean? Some properties are gonna be bumpy, ruddy, and with a zero turn, you sit on it, you bump on a ruddy property, and you can keep that straight line. Not on a standard, because it's knocking you off balance, and half of the time you're sitting there trying to keep your balance. So now, not only am I trying to concentrate on keeping a straight line, I'm concentrating on trying to keep my balance so I won't mess up my straight line. So that came in the issue. What was the other thing that I was worried about before I got onto it? I can't even remember. Let's get into my list. Oh, buddy. All right, let me see here. What's first on my list? Where's my list? Oh, here we go. Muffler in the front. Okay, I didn't even think about this because I've never used the standard before. So I was cutting and I went through a tree, which normally with a zero turn I go through branches and trees all the time, but this particular time I went through a tree branch, and after I finished going through the tree branch, I had a whole bunch of leaves sitting on my muffler, which started heating up and started burning. And I'm like, what? Why would you put the muffler in the front of the mower? But then I looked at the engine and I realized that the way the engine's mounted, that's the only real way that you can put the muffler. Which now I have to be, that's one more thing I have to be aware about. You know, like I you know, I have to be aware of the deck. I have to be aware of not running into things. Now I have to be aware of making sure that no branches or leaves get on the muffler that's right in the front of the motor and the mower. So that was kind of annoying. You know, that's one extra thing I gotta think about with this mower. Next thing is tall people problems. Drop my phone. Tall people problems. I didn't really think about this before I got the mower. I'm 6'3". So, you know, that video I made the other week about Naylor talking about, oh, if you know you get a tall branch, you can duck down behind the mower. I joked about that, but when you're 6'3", ducking down behind the mower is annoying, bro. Especially if you have to do it constantly. See, when I'm on a zero turn, all I got to do is this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can keep driving and I just duck down. You know what I mean? That's all I gotta do. When I'm on a zero turn, I gotta bend my whole body down to get under a branch and get behind the mower. And it is annoying. Like, most of the time I was just bending forward, which is bad on my back. Yeah, like I told you, I got a bad back, and I know y'all. And like I tell y'all, this is nothing against standards in general. This is just my situations, and what my situation is, somebody with a bad back, I can't use it. All right, so you know, and then on top of that, me trying to duck under the branches, by me being 6'3", I'm already super tall. So branches that might not even have been a problem if I was on a zero turn are now a problem because I'm standing a foot off the ground higher than what I normally would have been, and I'm standing up. And so I'm like, bro, like I done cut this yard 20 times and this branch has never been a problem, but since I'm standing up now a foot higher off the ground, 7 foot, now this branch is a problem. So tall people problems. All right, what's next? Back problems. Back problems. The first day I used it, I will say my back was killing me, bro. And I know a lot of people say, you know, well, you know, when you use a standard, I got to get back into shape. I got to blah, blah, blah. Okay, I understand that. But the thing is, bro, like, I don't have to get in shape to use a zero turn, bro. Like, I just hop. Anybody can hop on a zero turn and they can just go cut without getting into any zero turn shape. You got to get into standard shape. And I will admit, after that first day my back was hurting, the second day, I used it 3 days last week. The second day my back wasn't hurting as much. The third day my back was hurting less. So I actually did get into standard shape. But still, bro, like, I don't want to have to get into standard shape. I don't want to have to go over all the winter time relaxing, not cutting grass, and then like I'll dread having to cut grass in the spring because I know I got to get my back into standard shape. For what? I could just hop on a zero turn. And so that's what I was kind of dreading. My thing was, when I committed to doing this, I didn't want to be, I want to fully commit to it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to kind of use it where I think I can use it. I want to get the full experience of using a standard. So if I have to cut grass all day this day and all day that day, I'm going to use it all day so I can give y'all my 100% honest opinion. So that's what I did. I cut it all day on the Thursday. I cut it all day on the Friday, my normal cutting days, just so I can give y'all my honest opinion about what I think about the mower. Alright, so let's go to the next thing. Another thing I didn't think about before I got it. Always on your feet, bro. Bro. One thing about zero turns, right, that I love is that, all right, you know, when you're trimming a yard, you gotta walk around, be on your feet. When you're blowing the yard, you gotta walk around, be on your feet. But once it's time to mow the yard, stupid bugs. What is going on right now? Once it's time to mow the yard, you can sit down, get off your feet and relax. If you have a stander, you're on your feet literally all day. And like I tell people, like I'm kind of like, I won't call it OCD. I don't know what you would call it, but I kind of think about the future. I kind of think about, if I do this or whatever it is consistently until I'm 50, how would my feet be? How would my back be? How would my eyes be? How would my ears be? You know, how would my hair be? You get what I'm saying? And I think about these things to try, because I know one day I'm gonna be 50. And so my thing is, if you plan to mow grass all your life until you're 50, if you have a stander, you're gonna be on your feet all day. You know, even when you're not walking and trimming, walking and blowing, you're still gonna be on your feet. You're gonna wear your feet out. And that's what I realized. I didn't ever thought about this before I got the stander, is that, you know, not only am I walking around doing the other stuff, when I'm mowing, I'm standing on my feet all day. And I'm like, bro, like, this is gonna wear my feet out. I could be sitting down right now. That's the whole time I was thinking about it. You know, I got my headphones in listening to sports radio, but I'm like, man, I could be sitting down right now relaxing on my zero turn, and I'm standing up. Why? You know what I mean? What's my next thing? I think it's my last thing. Oh, yep. I don't even know what that is. Oh. I didn't even realize what it was, but now I realize what it is. I put stand on sandwich. Stand on sandwich. And what that means is that basically I have particular yards where I have like steep ditches, right? And for most of the ditches, I back down into the ditch like I could do with a stand on and a zero turn. I turn like this, I go across the ditch, and then once I get to the other side of the ditch, I turn like this and I go back up the ditch, and then I come back on top, and by that point I'm on top of the ditch. But with the stand there, right, when I back down the ditch and I go here and I try to turn like I would do with normal zero turn, now the only thing stopping that stander from falling back flat onto the ground of the other side of the ditch is me. I'm in between the ground and a 800-pound machine. I'm guessing this is about 800 pounds. You get what I'm saying? And so it's like with a zero turn, I don't even think about that. And I didn't think about that until I started using this. I go and I try to turn, and the whole time I'm leaning over the mower trying to counterbalance the weight, hoping that this thing doesn't flip back. Because mind you, I'm standing on the back of it, almost 300 plus pounds, and I don't want this thing to flip back and land on me and make a lawnmower sandwich. So a lot of times when I was in that situation that I would normally use my zero turn for, I didn't even put myself in that situation with the stander. I just said, I just go ahead and trim it, which caused me to have to do a little bit more trimming. So those are some of the things that the stander I didn't like, which is a lot of things. I know it's a long video. But like, I'm gonna get briefly, I like hands down, I think the cut, you know, so I'm looking at my ProTurn right now. I don't know if it's the same deck or what. The cut is immaculate. It is way better than my ProTurn. I don't want to go say way better, but it is way better than ProTurn. And I don't know if it's because another thing that I noticed that's negative about it is that it scalps more. My ProTurn deck is a little bit looser. You know what I mean? Like if I go over bumps and lumps, it moves with the lay of the land, with the wheels, whatever those wheels are. And with this, it's a little bit more stiff. And I think because it's a little bit more stiff, it doesn't wobble, the deck doesn't wobble as much, so it gives you a little bit better cut. I don't know if that's why it gives you a better cut, but it does give you a better cut. So that's one pro for it. But it is some other stuff I will talk about in the review, but that's my review of my first impressions of the Pro Stance. Hope it didn't seem too negative. But like I said, this is not really a review of a Pro Stance in general. This is more of a first impressions of a stander, which a tall 280-pound person probably should consider a zero turn. 100% honestly. So yeah. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe. Stay tuned. Yes, sir.